All right. Good morning. Had a really nice little rain last night. I woke up at 3 in the morning thinking, oh my stars, my water buckets are full. So, up for a little while. Raspberries look like they're going to be producing lots this year. These were the red ones all in here, and then these lighter green ones are the really nice yellow ones. And I don't think they have anywhere near as many flowers, but they've sent up about 20 times as many shoots as what the green ones have. And the haskaps are actually starting to get some berries on them. Maybe not these ones, but the one up front certainly is. Oh, yeah, they are. These ones are still green. Cool. The ones up front or up front on the other side here are already purple. Let's go take a boo at this. And the flowers. Neighbor's got some nice stuff going on up there. Alright, these skullcaps seem to be taking quite nicely. And the old bronze bugle. You can see how bad eyes would think that was a bugie. Hey, William? It happens. It happens to the best of us, brother. And those are some black-eyed Susans. So, still kind of thinking there's got to be some other things that I'd like to do out in here, but I just don't know what I want to do them with. Pretty disappointed in the sweet peas, to be honest. I mean, I planted, 10 or 12 of them around in there. Soaked them for a couple of days, and then used an inoculant and popped them in. So, there's not that many. I still had a bunch of the seeds in there, so yesterday I went and rammed, another 20 in there. Something's got to come up. What are we, sea buckthorn, I believe? Yes, the female. Oh, yes. And then the Lord is over there. Oh, the peppers just look so much happier in the ground. Like, I gotta get some of these, actually I gotta get them all kind of staked up and in their own area, but they just look so much greener, so much happier. Here's some of the sunflowers that I borrowed from out back, that the birds planted for me. I popped them in a couple of different spots out here, just trying to figure out where everything needs to go. The comfrey is going to flower, so it is now time to harvest this. I'm cutting this down as soon as I'm done this video. Definitely going to try and do a few. The whole reason for growing a bunch of this stuff, the medicinals and that, was to try to make some medicines out of them. So I'm going to do a separate video on it, but I'm going to make some comfrey oil. I'm going to try and make a salve, and then I saw an awesome little video today on making a face cream, a body cream, with comfrey and a few other natural herbals. Oh, here's more mint. Good Lord, that is just the bane of this front yard here. I love mint, but I have so many mint plants, and I should never have planted it in the ground. Look at you, you little bugger. You leave just a little bit, like this is going to turn into... Well, that's like at least 2 mint plants, obviously. Right? He was bombing off of there. Oh, invasive. Awesome plant, but this should not be in my garden. In the ground, anyway. The pear tree is going to be gone. Well, not gone. That's not accurate. It's going to get hard pruned. It did not flower, but it did produce leaves up there. But it seems like with this clay soil, the roots are having a real tough time penetrating down just to gain purchase and to grow out. So typically, what's above ground on a plant is you're going to be able to expect sort of below ground root system wise. And there is a disparity here for a small root ball. So it doesn't have enough energy to provide to the entire tree. So it just doesn't make any sense to me to keep a branch just poking out there. And it's starting to get darker going down. So I think if I take it here, because the other pear tree, same thing, different variety, but is doing the exact same thing. So I don't know if pears have a little more delicate roots, or they don't perhaps penetrate as aggressively. I don't know. The apple trees, cherry trees, and the apricots are loving life. But I'm gonna hack them both off at about the same height. So again, they should be sort of at the same pace. And the lupin is looking, lupin, I call it a lupin, is just looking unbelievable. This is a second spring that this has been in my yard. I planted this last, I guess May, maybe a little after May, June-ish. Planted this, and I think it had a spike or two. This is blowing my mind. Like, this looks so nice. My yard's so purple right now because all the chives are in flower, like full on rockin' flowers. Bees are loving it. But these still have a little ways to go, and I think there's a few more. I believe I read that if you kind of deadhead these once they all bloom out, it'll actually produce some more. I wouldn't mind saving some seeds from it, but we shall see how that goes. This little guy was growing down the side of the house where the tulips and the daffodils and crocus were. I looked down, I'm like, what's that? I didn't plant that. That's not something I planted. So I went to pull it out, and there was a potato attached to it. So whatever, I mean, that's way too small of a pot. I might pot that up into something a little bit bigger. It needs to be potted up anyway. Spuds are doing good. There's another comfrey that's coming down today. Here's the chives upon which I spoke. Just looking so nice. And the yarrow is just opening up. Yesterday it was not, so it must have liked the rain. This one's obviously a red variety. I believe I have white in here as well. It's just awesome. What a great plant. And it grows like crazy. I mean, a lot of these with just some basic management don't become invasive. Speaking of something that I never, ever, ever really have to plant is dill. You don't really belong there, do you? Dill, last year I planted it out here, and about 6 years ago I planted it in the backyard. And I tend to let it just get as big as it wants to get and go to seed, go to flower, go to seed, and then I even let them pretty much dry on there. So there's these big stalks sticking up all over the place come the fall. And when I pull them out, I'm not overly gentle, and I shake them the entire way to the compost pile. And I haven't really had to plant dill in a long, long time. Well, the bergamot looks like it's taking. This is going to end up being a huge plant once it gets its roots into that clay. And again, a different variety. I think I grabbed 5 different varieties of sweet peas. I've never grown sweet peas before, so I don't know nothing about nothing. Zinfandel, okay. So 3 out of 12. Nice. Filled that up again there, like I said yesterday. Little Russian almond. And here's the kale that came back from last year. That just absolutely still blows me away, really. Is that the old stalk right there? Yeah, it is. That's the old stalk. Oh, and my edamame is coming up. Edamame, soybeans. Just boiled for whatever. 3-5 minutes. Some coarse salt on them. Oh man, I could eat those all day. This was tarragon that was grown in the herb garden in the back, and I, fairly rudely, I guess, dug it up this spring. Dug a hole, didn't dig down into the clay, didn't mix any compost. I did nothing. Slapped it in, and that does not look too bad. It's growing. Some more of those sunflowers from out back. I've got a whole whack of different peppers in here. Habaneros, and hot lemons, chilies, anchos, bananas, pepperoncinis, sweets, obviously, jalapenos, a couple other ones. The gooseberry definitely needs to be pruned. I was curious what this was going to do. I thought it was some pretty old growth, and I was right. Different colored lupin, very nice. And again, here's this. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the of the kale that I planted up here last year that have come back out of that old stalk that I just left in the ground. It got down to -40. I just, mind reminding anybody. That's a hardy plant, and you're more than welcome. If you come back in my garden, you can stay. I believe I'm going to get these mulched up today because this area just gets very, very dry. This is the south-facing part. Oh, man. This is the coolest ground cover. I bought this in a tray, whatever it was. However many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it was a 16-inch tray, obviously, because I cut them into 2-inch strips. Boop, and put them in like that last year. And this is how much they filled in. So I kind of expect by next year, and they're starting to creep out here. So I didn't plant any onions around there. These were just leftovers that were absolutely tiny, pathetic. Not that they're great, don't get me wrong. It's just if you saw what they started with. Still have a couple of tulips just hanging on. Cherry tree setting fruit. So I'm pretty excited about that. This one's got quite a few fruit on it. It's not exactly like a real full tree, but this feller over here, or ma'am, I can't remember which one this one is. Look at this. I don't even think this is going to be able to hold all this fruit. I mean, part of me is thinking I should be like trimming some of this off. I don't know. This is, this one, well, we planted all of this last year. The other tree gave us, whatever, a couple dozen. This had none on it, or maybe 2. But I don't think that's going to be the issue this year. This thing was white. Absolutely white. Lemon balm, looks like you're here to stay. A few onions from last year. Nice. Thornless. I'm going to pop some tomatoes in the sunken clay pots with the bottom smashed out of them today. This is again edamame. How come I have none coming up? I did this at the exact same time as that other area. Oh well. Shut up and wait, right? Shut up and wait. Some of the herbs that I planted look like they're doing okay. Parsley, popped a couple of things of thyme in there. I'm just trying to get this all filled in. Like I envision like actual forest, right? Actual forest. This one's brutal. Which one was this one? Jewel of Albon. Sweet pea. Like 1 out of the 12. Huh, they didn't do well. This is a honeysuckle, and if you get somebody over to your house that you're not necessarily overly fond of, you can go ahead and give them one of those berries to eat, and they won't get that taste out of their mouth for the better part of a day. I thought it was edible. You go put honey in a name and tell me it's not edible. Damn it, can't research everything. Anyway, that's coming out. I'll give it away. I'll put it on the local site. Somebody wants to buy it, awesome. But if I can't eat it, you're gone. You gone, son. So what am I going to do there? An elder plant, because apparently they get like 5 feet by 6 or 7. So I think that should be kind of good there. See, like I say, the apricots, the cherries, the apples, they're all doing phenomenal. They look healthy anyway. I mean, what do I know? This guy came back from last year. It's either I believe it's summer savory. I don't think it's a time, but it might be. It might be. I think it's time to get in here and speaking of time to get in here and pop a couple of dandelions out. Oh, hey, good morning, Bee. You're up early. Oh, go and get you some, buddy. That comfrey's coming down here shortly. Shortly. Oh well. The yarrow's opening up. You'll be fine. This was a Saskatoon. And for whatever reason, they were a bit bigger than this last year. They died back. Everything slowly got kind of yellowy black, and then just whatever. That one clearly didn't make it. This is the best of the remaining. I don't know. Not sure if they're in the right spot. I mean, looks like we're going to get a few Saskatoons, but these things are supposed to get 6 feet by 6 feet. So, That's why I put them here. Thought a nice hedge. This is where the wind always comes through. But again, I mean, it could just be that clay soil, and it just needs some time to get the roots going. Here's a whole whack of different spuds. I've got them all marked, so I have an idea if I really care. I'll care come harvest time, that's for sure. Pop a couple of the... What's going on here? Awful lot of you guys in there. A couple of the mint things, a few more of the mint things. You know what? Whatever. Let's just